Welcome back to another episode of PA Whiskey Guys. I'm Chris.
And I'm Jesse.
And Johnny here.
We've got a great episode for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking about the iconic bourbon series, or bourbon maker's mark. We've got a few bottles in front of us, guys.
Yeah, interesting lineup today. Definitely going to dive into the history, I think, a little bit on this one. Maker's Mark has been around for a while, so there's some pretty cool facts about this one. A lot that I didn't know about, a lot that many people may not know about or whatever. So, you know.
Do a real quick overview. Maker's Mark is a renowned small batch bourbon whiskey produced in Loretto, Kentucky. Known for its distinctive red wax seal bottles. I mean, we've all seen them on the shelves, right? I know there's some funny pictures going around where the first and last day on the job, where they dip the whole bottle, it seems like, in wax.
Yes.
Those are good. Maker's Mark has a rich history and a unique production process that sets it apart from other bourbons. In 1953, the story of Maker's Mark began with T. William Samuel Sr. purchased the Burke's Distillery in Loretto, Kentucky for $35,000. Bill Samuels Sr. was determined to create a bourbon that was smoother and more approachable than the harsh, high rye bourbons that were common at the time. That's funny because I like the rye from last week that we did.
Yeah.
That Michter's.
Yeah.
So to compete with the harsh rye or the high rye, you know. In 1954, the production began, and Bill Samuel Sr. developed a new mash bill that used red winter wheat instead of rye, which contributed to the bourbon's smooth and mellow flavor.
Yeah, the red winter wheat, it's known for, obviously. Makers put it on the map, I would have to say. There's some other distilleries that are up and coming that are new that we definitely don't see here in PA, that are using that red wheat, soft winter wheat. So
No, reading into this is the first time I've heard of red winter wheat.
yeah,
Honestly.
yeah. I wonder if that's why the red top's there too. Probably has something to do with it. I don't know if that's in our little cheat sheets we have here. In 1958, actually, the first bottles of Maker's Mark were sold featuring the red wax seal, which was the brainchild of Bill's wife, Margie Samuels. Margie also designed a distinctive bottle shape and label, making Maker's Mark instantly recognizable. Wow, I can't speak today at all. In the 1960s and 70s, Maker's Mark was marketed with the tagline, "It tastes expensive," and is emphasizing its premium quality. You know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely some good talking points there. Yeah, we're going to get into a little bit of the company's recognition and growth. So in the mid-70s, right around 1974, the distillery was actually listed on the National Register of Historic Places. And then fast forward a little bit to 1980, it was designated a National Historical Landmark, first distillery in America to receive this recognition while the distillery was still operating.
I've actually heard that. I've heard that it was a historic place now. It's one of those places like when you go to Kentucky, which I've never been. It's on the list. Everybody always says that you got to visit it, you know, because it's. I mean, I've seen videos, I've seen pictures, and the grounds are absolutely beautiful. You know, it's pretty cool.
We're going to head into, still in that early 80s time frame. So Maker's Mark, at the time, still privately held, was sold to Hiram Walker and Sons, which later was acquired by Seagram's in the late 1980s. And naturally, with the company being sold, the brand continued to grow in popularity and continue its growth. So we're moving into the early 2000s there. So again, looking at some ownership changes, Maker's Mark at the time was with Beam Incorporated, which later merged with Suntory to form the Beam Suntory Group. So then coming into the 2011 era, Bill Samuels Jr., who had overseen the brand's growth for many years, decided to retire, and his son Rob Samuels took over as managing director of the brand. So coming back into 2013, the company briefly considered reducing the alcohol content of Maker's Mark from the 90 proof arena down to the mid-80s to accommodate some supply issues. But naturally, they quickly reversed the direction after a strong negative reaction from the consumer.
Which I have actually heard that story. It wasn't taken very well in the bourbon community. People definitely disliked it. They wanted it to keep it as it was, and not make any changes because the people that drank it, they liked it.
Is 90 proof what the regular bottle's at, roughly?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. Actually, we don't have that in front of us. I don't typically drink it too much.
I'm not a fan of the regular bottle. That's
Yeah,
why
I'm not
happy
either.
to see these four in front of us. Because if we had the regular bottle, I don't think I'd be tasting it.
It's good for old fashions.
Yeah, it's a good mixer for sure.
Yeah.
Not to take away, because obviously people do like it, but
No, all palates are different.
yeah, very very
Completely.
true. All palates are definitely different. That's for sure.
All right, so what? Let's talk about this first one here, right? We got the Maker's Mark Heart Release. This is the 2024.
Yeah, 2024. This one. To go into it, you'll hear us talk about it shortly. The wood finishing series and all that stuff. They had previous years made a different, actually literally a different bottle. It looks totally different, and that's where they created their wood finishing series. This is a continuation in 2024. To my knowledge, the Heart release is the only one released in that series.
Oh.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. I don't know if you have heard any info about that.
I do have the quick overview. Right? We got the Maker's Mark, the Heart Release, which is our first bottle here we're going to try, is part of the Maker's Mark Wood Finish series, which is known for its innovative use of wood staves to enhance the distinctive characteristics of their iconic bourbon. This release is particularly special as it focuses on the team behind the creation of Maker's Mark Bourbon. In 2019, for the Wood Finish series, Maker's Mark introduced the Wood Finish series, a collection of limited edition bourbons that undergo a unique stave finishing process. This series aims to highlight different aspects of the bourbon's flavor profile by using various types of wood staves. Then recently, the 2024, the Heart Release, is the latest addition to this series, kicking off what is considered Chapter 2 of the wood finishing series. This release is inspired by the distillery team at Maker's Mark and a unique taste vision. So there you go. This is Chapter 2. Now this wood stave is new to me. Is this in other brands? Is this?
I'm not sure specifically if the other companies use the staves like these guys do, and I've actually never seen the process, so I can't comment on it. John, you gotta
No, myself either. I have to say, I'm not too familiar, with anybody else manufacturers of bourbon using wood staves besides Maker's Mark.
Yeah,
I think mostly everybody else, it's probably a barrel finishing thing.
yeah, they do their finishing in the barrel. I don't even know if they take the full stave and throw it in a barrel. I mean, they might. I really don't know. Actually, it's something we could look up.
Yeah.
But I actually don't know that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, you mentioned about the team that is at Maker's Mark. They I heard this story prior to this release, which kind of made me go out and get this bottle. That the Heart release is designed to showcase the contributions and perspectives of the distillery team at Maker's Mark. Each team member played a role in crafting the flavor profile of this bourbon, making it a true reflection of their collective expertise and passion. As the story goes, they literally had every single person that is there within the distillery, have input on the final product, I guess. So that's pretty cool. Which is why they call it the Heart. It's because it's they're part of it. It's came from the heart.
Everybody's
Pick
heart's
from
in
the
the
heart
heart.
or whatever, that saying
Wow.
is. So,
Okay.
This release is based off of the Maker's Mark Cask strength, which we also have here. We'll do a quick chat about that at the end of this one. But the bourbon is finished with two different types. The bourbon itself is finished with two different types of virgin French oak staves. One set of staves was inserted into the barrel for 5 weeks, and the other 9 weeks. The finishing process takes place in the distillery limestone cellar, which is also a sight to see from, some brief videos that I've seen. I watched I think these people were, I don't want to say vacationing, but they were touring, historic places, which is why they went to Maker's Mark.
Right.
And they did a little, they were vlogging their whole entire trip. And they went and they detailed it. I wish I could find the video. I would share the link with you guys. It was pretty interesting, though. It's pretty awesome. That cellar is,
Right.
It's where all their finishing takes place is in that cellar.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty neat. And it's literally a cellar.
I'll have to check that out.
Which, not getting into it here, but obviously the temperatures, which I don't know what they are, definitely affects, the barrels. So
we're going to raise our glasses up and get a little bit of the nose on this
yeah,
one.
we'll see what this one's all about. I've had it, personally. It's been a while since I bought the bottle.
Definitely has a little bit of a boozy nose to it. You can definitely get a little bit of that tingle from the ethanol.
Yeah, brown sugar, maple.
Yes. Oaky notes. A lot of wood on the nose.
Yeah, definitely wood, sweet wood. Getting something in there too, like a faint chocolate. I get like the berries, I should say.
Yeah, definitely berries. Or that dark chocolate type of
Yeah,
profile
like the dark
on it.
chocolate, a little bit.
And there is sort of a little bit of like a creamy undertone, maybe like vanilla, a little bit of like a black cherry going on too. Underneath all that.
Reminds me of those little boxes of raisins when I was a kid.
Yeah, the Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what that reminds me of.
I wasn't a fan of raisins, I don't think. I remember the box, I definitely remember it, but not a huge fan of them.
What are you tasting?
So definitely on the tasting side of it, definitely some heavy oak. Like Chris mentioned, that brown sugar, heavy molasses going on there.
Got like a dark dried fruit. Can't pinpoint it, but I don't want to say raisins because we know raisins are grape. But like a dark dehydrated red
dark fruits. That's what it is, though. It's dark fruits. I'm getting a little bit of, and I don't know if this is a weeded bourbon thing. I'm getting a little bit of a dryness, like on the palate. On the like almost like a dry wine.
Yeah.
If you've had dry wine or whatever, that style. And I don't know if that's a wheat thing or what. But
Right.
I do get that on some bourbons, but I have to pay attention to that with some other weeded bourbons, which I don't think I have many of.
Yeah, the finish, like you said, definitely doesn't linger on your palate as long. It's very clean, it's flavorful, but it's short.
Yeah, I'm not getting it. Like it gets to the side of my tongue, it doesn't go all the way to the back. To explain it that way, which is good. It doesn't get you in the throat.
Yeah, you miss out on that Kentucky hug.
Yeah, the Kentucky hug. Yeah, it's not lighting me up. I don't get that too often these days. I've tried some proofers over my time here.
Yeah. I get a peppery finish, though. Like you said,
Definitely
it's
some
not
spice.
long, but the peppery.
Yes. We'll get into the mash bill a little bit here. So on this Heart Release 2024, we're looking at a mash bill right around 70% corn. The red winter wheat right around 16%. And then malted barley right around 14%. And this mash bill overall is very consistent with the standard Maker's Mark bourbon. which naturally is known for its smooth, mellower profile, thanks, to the utilization of the soft red winter wheat instead of a rye.
Say that five times fast.
Yeah, that's
It's a tough
a
one.
little bit of a twister.
Tell you, so if they're using a consistent mash bill, the difference between the staves
Right.
that they're using or just the aging process alone, it's fascinating how much that changes flavor, right? I mean,
Right, just by utilizing different woods.
yeah.
Right, it's crazy.
Maker's Mark doesn't age statement their bottles either, right? There's not age statement. None of them are, as far as I know, right?
Yeah, not that I can
Which
recall
is,
either.
going off of what Chris was saying with the, the different wood finishes in the barrels. Like, I have to think that some of these are aged longer than others. Maybe not though.
The only one I could recall seeing an aged, I mean, not that it's declared on the bottle, but the Cellar Aged, I believe it was 7 to 8 years. I remember reading that
the
in an
Cellar
article.
Aged. Yeah, that's another one. I haven't never even tried that one. That's a little bit more pricier and hard to find, I believe.
And all that was especially with these stave ones, is how long the staves were in the barrels.
Yeah,
so that's the only age statement technically we're really getting from this.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's got to be a minimum of probably 4 years. That's the whole
definitely right around.
the whole stipulations to all that
Sure.
fun stuff. I like this one. This is good.
This
Like I said, I had a little try of it when I first got this bottle. I was, again, we say it in every episode. We're here in PA. We're surprised we see some of these things. I have seen it on the shelf recently. Recently, as of this last week, I should say.
Yeah, and surprisingly, like you said, it is still lingering out there a little bit, considering we're in PA. Because I know initially when it dropped, I happened to see it, grabbed the backup, and it's like you said, after a few months of it being out, it's still floating around.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, I'm gonna probably say that about every whiskey we try. I mean, I enjoy it.
I'm going to say out of the ones that we've had, so this is our 4th episode so far. This is our 4th whiskey we're trying. Now we have 4 this episode, but this is the first one tonight, so technically our 4th one in our episode, right? Or, you know what I mean? This is going to be probably my least favorite out of the lineup. I don't want to shoot it down.
No, it's interesting.
It's good.
It's interesting
It's
you
good,
say that, though.
but I'm going to
because-
shoot this one down or put this one as number 4 as
Okay.
out of the ones that we've had last episode.
Yeah, I get it. It doesn't have the sweetness that definitely the rye had.
No.
Yeah.
That rye last week was amazing.
This is what's the proof on this bottle? Actually, I don't know the proof off the top of my
I
head.
think this one's 110.
It was 111.7.
Okay.
So we jumped up
Yeah.
almost 20 proof points, I think, right? What was our?
Well, the
what's
bottle and
Michter's?
bond was 100.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. We did have a bottle and bond, so that's
Yeah,
100.
I don't remember what the Michter's was.
Victor's was, I believe,
94,
right
92?
around 90 and change. mid
Yeah.
90s.
So this is the highest one so far that we've
So
had.
it could be that, and also again, it's wheat. It's a wheat bourbon, so wheat's different. It took me a while to get used to Maker's Mark.
So it's
like I
our
said.
first weeded one then.
Yeah, it's first wheated one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's. You want to move on to the second bottle?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we have 3 more bottles to tour, so we don't want to hold up the party tonight.
Let's see. So we got for our second bottle is going to be the Maker's Mark number 46. It's a French oak stave, cask strength.
Yeah.
What's the percentage on that?
This is 55.4, so it's 110.8.
Wow. Okay. So what, a point less than this other one?
This is a first for me, and this is also a fresh crack bottle today. Actually, happy Whiskey Wednesday, guys.
Yeah. Happy Whiskey
Yeah, salute.
Wednesday.
Happy Whiskey
Say
Wednesday.
That, say that 10 times fast. Let's see. Let's get to the origins of the Maker's Mark 46. Is the first new major expression from the distillery since the original Maker's Mark was released in 1958. It was created by Bill Samuels Jr., the son of the founders Bill and Margie Samuels. The creation process for this bourbon starts as standard Maker's Mark, which is then aged longer with the addition of 10 heavily seared French oak staves inserted into the barrel. This process imparts additional flavors and complexity to the whiskey. So, right there, we're adding 10 more staves. They're aging it longer. Again, they're not saying how much longer they're aging it.
Right.
So,
Those notes, I did a little research on this to pull this one together for us at the last minute. There may be notes on age.
Oh,
I didn't see them. I didn't, to be honest with you, I didn't even think to look for them. I'm used to seeing some age statements on the bottles, and you don't think of it sometimes. But I'm nosing this one. This one smells pretty darn good.
Wow.
Definitely a little more timid on the nose compared to the heart release.
Less oak.
Yeah.
Less oak. Definitely less oak.
It is less oak.
Not coming off as boozy.
I feel like I'm getting a little bit more sweetness.
Yeah. I want to relate back to the raisins. I want to go back to the raisin bottle.
Yeah, it still has that heartier fruit type of nuance on the nose.
Yeah, I'm getting a little sweetness here in this one. Like almost maple. Brown sugar.
Yeah, maple brown sugar, right, and caramel.
Not like maple syrup pancakes or whatever.
Pretty clean on the palate. Even though, I don't know about you guys, but even though the proof is very similar, definitely doesn't come in as hot as the heart release.
I agree with you. I don't want to say the word smooth, but it's not as my taste buds aren't as live in this one.
Wow,
yeah, definitely a little more refined.
I don't know if it's just me. Then I get more of a hotter pinch on the back of the tongue, and right in the back of the throat. I get a little bit more of a, I don't want to say a burn, but it's hotter.
You can taste the alcohol a little bit.
Yeah,
it's a little more prominent than compared to the heart release.
Yeah, I don't taste it's not as flavorful. I don't feel like as that heart release. This one. No,
I would agree with that. It does lack a little, like, in the finish for me is like.
Yeah, the complexity's a little.
Yeah,
it's
not as complex. Yeah, simple. They're both French oak, which is, maybe it's the second barrel or the second aging on the hearts,
right,
that makes the difference up. Is why it's. Sure, it makes it more complex for that reason alone. I like it. I think it's pretty good though.
Yeah, definitely. I got to give this the thumbs up.
Yeah.
This I've had a few times. It's a bottle that stays in my rotation. Readily available, good solid price point. Naturally, we're
what is the price on this?
This was $58, $59.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that much. Yeah,
I just picked this one up today.
I never purchased it. Never. I looked. I've seen it. I think the Hearts was like 70 something for that one.
Right around 70.
Yeah, $70. But again, when you see it, if you see it,
gotta jump on it.
Yeah, with taxes. So again, here in Pennsylvania, we use the fine wine and good spirits. It was $63.59. Mm-hmm. So that was the final sales price.
Okay. So a little higher price point.
Yeah.
In the overall findable bottles type of range.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just took another sip. I got punched in the face with cherry on that one.
Yes.
A lot of cherry. A lot more cherry on the as the sips go on. I like that.
Yeah, I think overall the consensus here.
Thumbs
up.
Yeah, I like this one too.
Right. Yeah, I'm slowly becoming a Makers fan. I had a private selection, a fine wine, good spirits private selection. Last year, end of 2023, I think it was the 2023 fall release.
Yeah, okay.
I wasn't a fan when I first cracked it, which is possible. A lot of people say that you get some air going in that bottle and let it sit for a month or whatever. And
right.
I came back to it. I was actually sitting in my camper one night, just sitting on the porch, and nice late summer evening, and I could have did some damage on the old bottle. It got tastier and tastier. The more glasses I had.
That's why there's nothing left.
Not this one, not that one. The old, I don't have the other one anymore.
And we've talked about it before with adding water or adding ice. I feel like these two so far, I feel on an ice cube for me would would
yeah.
make it a little bit more enjoyable.
That's a good point you mentioned there, Chris. Like, usually me personally, I'm more on the neat side.
Me as well.
Okay, yeah.
Every now and then I will drop some ice chips in. I really don't do, the big rock cube or whatever too often. Just because to me it feels like you got to drink it faster so it doesn't get watered down. So I'd rather take my time and enjoy it than, rush the process. But it is interesting, like you said, to see, the pour, drinking in neat versus whether with chips or a cube in it.
Yeah, we should do a test or a podcast, I should say. I've seen more so with Scotch. Used to watch this guy over in wherever he was, obviously probably Scotland, that did reviews, and he did a water dropper. He would have an eyedropper, and he would do like a drop at a time, do a tasting, do another drop and do another tasting. And
there's a few people I see that do that. They get it down to the drop of water.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this is to me the best with 3 drops of water in it.
Yeah, which is, I mean, hey, that's how they, as we're talking here, John's pouring another one for us, the third bottle that we're trying tonight. This is the cask strength. So the regular Maker's Mark is proof down, right? So when it comes out of the barrel, it's at cask strength, and then they proof it down to what the standard shelf is.
Right.
So they're adding water. That's how they do that. They add water to it. So.
All right, so yeah, the Maker's Mark cask strength. This is proofed at 109.4. So batch number 2103.
This one, this should be a little bit different taste because this is not finished.
Right, exactly.
With the French oak. So this one's probably going to taste, if I had to say, it might be a little bit,
You're going to notice a big difference in the density of flavor on this. I mean, you definitely get more alcohol. Flavor profile, it's definitely more timid. Very light, woody notes, some honey, some spice, but definitely not as, thick and flavorful as the previous two.
So with this just being cask strength of the regular one, right?
Yes.
Correct. Yep.
Yes.
Before even tasting it and nosing it, I'm already marking it as my least favorite.
Interesting.
I mean, I told the fellas before that this to me is a good mixer for a high octane old fashioned.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing against the guys out there, the folks that enjoy it, just as is.
Yeah. Again, every palate's different.
Yeah.
Don't let me turn you away from.
I'd like to say I tried
the
this. Someone that we know, I believe, had this bottle, and I'd like to say I've tried it, but.
And I'm always interested with these cask strengths too. The barrel proofs, cask strengths. They're the ones that I want. That's what's coming out of the barrel. That's the one I want to try.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the sweet spot. I mean, of 110 to 120 myself personally. Wouldn't try things mostly. I enjoy the lower proof stuff obviously too, but I think you get your the most complex out of that range.
Right. And especially on a Whiskey Wednesday, it's a little easier to work with a 90 proof than
yeah.
30 and change.
Yeah.
In the middle of the week.
I'm not getting much.
Wow.
I'm not getting much on the nose on this one. I
mean, it's got some aroma, some light fruits. I want to say more like a melon, maybe like honeydew.
Yeah, I could, like a cantaloupe.
Yeah.
Yep. I could,
like a melody type of profile.
Yeah,
yes.
I could buy that.
Yeah. I mean, definitely has a little more aroma, the ethanol on there.
It's ethanol forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me is.
Yeah.
I gotta fight past that to get to the sweet goodies, but.
I'm getting like
the sweet goodies.
Maybe a little earthiness, a little bit more earthiness out of this one.
Yeah, definitely. No, it makes perfect sense.
What do you think on this one, Chris? What's your thoughts?
I take my statement back.
Whoa.
Okay, so I like... That doesn't have that peppery bite or that high proof on the back of the tongue like that 46 did. Now, let me put this out there. We opened the bottle of 46 tonight.
Very true.
We didn't open either the hearts or the Cask.
Yeah,
straight.
they have some shelf life to them.
And
they've had some time to breathe a little bit.
So I'll revisit this 46, but this one's going at the end of my lineup tonight, right?
Yeah,
now.
that's a
this was
very
going
good
last.
point, though. It is. It's a good point. I mean, I've noticed that. I mean, I have other bottles. We've John, you've done it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we were just talking about one last episode after we stopped recording or whatever, and you know, went back and visited them and stuff. And it does make a difference. I mean, it really does.
So I'm retracting that. I'm going to put that first. So
I think this is good. I get more ethanol in this one. I get it.
Yeah,
I got it on the finish quite a bit. Like it kind of went up into my sinuses a little bit. You know.
It'll give you a little tickle.
I might have to go back and try that hearts again, but so I think it's a fight for first place. So
the hearts is unique.
It is.
It's a
Definitely, it's kind of its own league.
So now Cask strength, no staves, right? This is
staves.
Okay, so we're out of the stave league.
Yep.
Okay.
out of the barrel at what they put it in at.
Okay.
I'm sorry, which one?
No, I said the cask strength.
Yeah. So this is their mash bill and their barrel coming out. That's the product. Yeah. This is what I like.
Right.
That's what I like to taste. You know.
There's a I listen to some other pretty well known podcasts out there, and I'm not sure how long the cask strength has been around. We don't have any notes on this one. I don't. John, you may know. How many years has it been around?
It's within the last few years, I'd say, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe about 4 to 5. Because I remember I had to hunt this bottle down when I first got it. Because there was a lot of buzz around it. And it did take a little bit to track it down here in PA anyway. But yeah.
There's a run in the bourbon world that people are chasing higher proof or barrel strength whiskeys out there now and stuff. And that's kind of like where this one comes in.
I can almost agree with that. Get on that bandwagon, but at the same time, don't chase them for the proof. Chase them for what they are.
That's it.
I could say I'm chasing bottle and bonds, but I can understand why they're chasing the cask strength because that's the product. That's the raw product coming out of the barrel. So I understand it.
I think it's where more of your flavors are going to be. I don't know.
I can cut it down at home to make it what I want to.
Like you said,
with your ice, with your ice or water,
splash of water.
Yep. So that's why I understand the barrel proof cask strengths. But at the end of the day, we all know it comes down to the price points too. We're going to be paying for that barrel strength.
Exactly.
And unfortunately. All right, moving on. What do we got? Number 4.
So for number 4 here, we're going to get into a private barrel pick, which is part of the wood finishing series. So this bottle here, this is an out-of-state bottle. So this was from a Delaware store down in Rehoboth Beach. I believe it was Atlantic Liquor.
Yeah, Rehoboth Beach.
Yeah, like we said, getting back into the the wood finishing series here, and this was 2021, so this is definitely in the earlier days.
Yeah, August 2021. It's 108.9 proof.
I can't help you with that.
That's my watch going off. If anybody heard that.
Yeah, what's the proof?
It's 108.9.
Huh?
So this bottle, I've had for a few years. Me personally, it's very tasty. I haven't had a lot of the private barrels. I mean, they're all over the country, depending on the retailer, whether you're in a privatized state or, a state-run system. But this one here definitely, I don't know about you guys, definitely a little lighter. Very fruity.
I'm not getting ethanol forward on this one. On the nose.
Right.
I haven't
Coming
tried
in
it yet,
close to
but
110 proof. It's not ethanol.
So this is the lowest proof out of the 4 tonight with that 108.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
So
this is the bottle that I was talking about when I was at camp. I had the Pennsylvania pick. The Fine Wine did a store pick of theirs.
initially I do get a pepper on on the initial one of that. I keep wanting to go back to those raisins though. All four of these really, I feel to me, favor that raisin.
Yeah, that sweetness of a raisin.
Yeah, the dried fruit, that dried red fruit.
The nose on this one's back to the same as the other two, the 46 and the hearts.
Yeah, and the hearts. Yeah.
I'm getting the same nose profile, if you will.
That oaky.
Yeah, the oaky sweetness. I guess, throwing those the baking spices, although faint cinnamon a little bit.
Yeah, definitely faint cinnamon, like I want to say like a Honeycrisp apple.
Speaking of apples, last week's. Either way, we're on to Maker's Mark.
You like the rye stuff.
We all know that rye, man.
Yeah, you like the rye.
That's sweet apple, but we're on to these.
That was good stuff, though. It was good. I've enjoyed every one that we've done so far.
And what's nice about like these wood finishing series, there's so many different varieties that are out there on these. So I mean, if you're into, trying out a lot of new stuff, this is definitely a series to look into. Just because, like we mentioned, there is such a variety out there. I mean, you're not going to see just one or two different picks. There's numerous picks across, the lower 48.
I like this one. This is pretty good. It's. I think the Hearts for me is my favorite tonight. This might be my second.
I gotta say, I'm a big fan of the Heart Release 2 2024. That's
it was good.
That's a banger.
Yeah, it's pretty good. This one's a close second for me. The Cask strength is my least favorite.
I gotta second that motion.
Which is, I like the proof.
Chris is taking this bottle, that Cask strength, for the road.
Yeah, sorry, John. You might be missing that out of your collection tonight. I appreciate this one more than the 46 tonight.
Huh.
So...
I think that 46 is gonna warm up to you.
Yeah.
That I've had a bottle of that years ago, and definitely with some air, it opens up a lot.
Okay.
You'll notice a big difference. Give it a couple weeks, yeah.
And we'll come back and visit. A couple episodes from now, I'll revisit it.
Yeah, we could have a circle
make
back
a motion.
Episode. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Honestly, this is not a bad one. I know a couple of our other buddies have the another private pick from this year that we can tie into the mix. Do some blinds. I want to do some blinds. And
yeah.
I'd be curious in a blind to see what we come up with. We know what we're drinking,
definitely.
Obviously, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be able to pick these out for sure.
And it is crazy when you cut out the visualization
100%.
aspect of knowing what you're drinking versus not knowing.
Yeah, it makes you want to pick the better bottle.
Right,
if you know it's expensive, it makes you want to pick it.
Right,
yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, again, mentioned in other podcasts that I listen to, they picked a non-allocated bottle versus an allocated bottle, and a couple times the non-allocated one.
Right.
Which is it's crazy. It just goes to show you. I'd love to try them all myself or whatever, but so.
All right. So this is our first weeded. All right. So I will. So it's my least. So there are 4 bottles. They're all my least favorite compared to the other 3. But I'm not putting them down. I'm just saying, and so it might be a weeded thing, right?
It's interesting, and we have. I have a weeded we can try. I'm sure John, you have a couple.
Weededs, yeah.
I don't know.
So maybe
I
we'll try a
I
little
know I
more
have one.
then.
I actually, the Hearts was, going. When I realized I should start ringing bottles for my own personal liking last year when I bought a couple bottles. The Hearts was up there for me as the bottles I bought. There's a couple other weeded. There's definitely another weeded that, if I had to say, I didn't buy that many bottles, but it's in my top 5 for sure, which is that Bardstown.
Oh, the Bardstown.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to look at featuring that in the podcast.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Here in PA, it's tough because they're not in the state yet, so it's definitely a Delaware, Maryland, Virginia thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we saw when we were up in New York.
And New York.
We did, New York had a couple of them. we didn't see the weeded one we didn't see.
Oh.
It had some steam on the internet, a couple Facebook groups that I've been reading and stuff.
Okay.
A lot of people enjoyed it, and I thought it was tasty.
I got an open bottle and 2 backups, so it's a hitter.
Yeah, I have a 3/4 way full bottle myself because I'm afraid to drink it and run out.
Yeah.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely good juice.
We'll get there. We'll try that one eventually.
Good. So what's our final takeaway on these Makers Marks then? What do you think?
I like them. I wasn't a fan of Makers. The regular one. There's a lot of stuff since I got into the whole bourbon scene.
Yeah.
There's a lot more options from Makers that I enjoy. These ones are good. I love the hearts. Like I said, the Private Select is pretty good. The French Oak, I'm actually curious to try it another couple weeks, month, or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll bring it
Because
back up.
I definitely enjoyed it. I probably have a bottle at some point. Actually, I think they make a non-cast version of the French Oak,
do.
right?
That was
Yes.
another option today. But I wanted cask strength because that's your purest form. That's what you're going to get.
Makers has been around for a long time. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have survived as long if they didn't. It's a good product. Overall, it's a good product. Like I said, I'm not a fan of the regular one. It is good in old fashioned. I will say that.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed them. I definitely enjoyed them.
Definitely have to say, naturally it is a limited release, the 2024 Heart release. I give the number 1 thumbs up tonight, followed by the 46 French Oak cash strength, the private barrel pick, out of that Delaware location, Atlantic Liquors, and then, last but not least, cash strength Makers.
All right. And I'm not going to speak on them anymore. I feel like all I've done is put them down.
It's probably a weeded thing for you.
Yeah.
It's got to be the weeded thing. It's different. It's a totally different thing compared to regular bourbons.
Out of these 4, though, I want
And
to
ryes,
say,
for that matter.
yeah, I want to say out of these 4, that last one we did that
Private barrel
special,
pick.
the private
Okay.
pick
Nice.
is probably my favorite, coming in with cask strength. Then I'm gonna go to Hearts and then the 46. So Hearts is at the lower end of my.
Okay.
My
That's
scale
interesting.
there.
Yeah.
So, and now, is it to do with proof? Is it to do with age? I don't know. But, so I think that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. All right, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us on social media and subscribe to our podcast and more bourbon reviews and discussions. I'm Chris.
And I'm Jesse.
And Johnny here.
And we'll catch you with the cork out.